what did you make of John chapter 6? I know you got to get out of here, but I'm curious. Do you remember ever looking at John chapter 6, verse say 30 to 70, the bread of life discourse, where Jesus is like, what did you think of that?
That's the one where he's talking about can you go over that one real quick again?
Yeah, it's where he says, look, my body is true meat. And he says the word true is like, in Greek, it's like literal. It means non-figurative meat. My blood is true drink. And unless you eat it, unless you gnaw it, the Greek verb that he uses is like the animal term for gnashing your teeth. That would very, very, very non-symbolic, very literal. Then you cannot have life in you. And this was the teaching Jesus gave that made more people than ever leave his side. And he asked Peter, like, what do you think of this? Are you going to leave me too? And Peter's like, where else would I go?
Yeah. No, that was a huge, like, that's one of those things where it was like, okay, this is what is completely makes sense. I didn't really think about it, to be honest, growing up. I kind of just glazed over that part. And I think maybe we would have had some Sunday school sessions where they would have just said like, no, this is what he really meant type thing. And I just kind of went with it growing up. But after reading the book, and then I think the other thing that was how the early Christians were called cannibals. That part which is well documented, I think, also made it like, okay, wow, like these early Christians really did believe that, that people really thought that they were eating Jesus, and they were called cannibals for it, which was like, okay, that's clearly was the teaching that Jesus gave us. And so that made it like all the more clear,
Yeah, like Nero, I think, was one of the ones that started those rumors about them being cannibals, which is because like you go through the synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, which gets cited every mass at the transubstantiation, is like, do this in memory of me. Mm-hmm. And as a Catholic, I get where Protestants can be like, that sounds like it could just be a kind of symbolic reenactment. Like I get that. But then you go into the non-synoptic gospel, you go into John, the hitter, the heavy hitter John, the deepest one, who knows some philosophy and theology. And John's just different, man. John's just different than the synoptics, which is what that means. And John chapter 6, bread of life discourse is inarguable. So I would always ask my Protestant friends, like, what do you make of John chapter 6?
Yeah, I think it's just easily just like you just said, do this in remembrance of me. You just kind of just go with that one.